Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just jump right in today. I want you to picture something with me. Imagine a quiet, swaying bamboo forest. Think about the sound of rain hitting the leaves, and picture a tiny, determined little shoot just starting to push its way through the dark soil.
It paints a pretty serene picture, right? But it actually brings up a genuinely fascinating question. What can a simple grass, which is literally what bamboo is, teach us about survival? Well, today we're tracing the biological life cycle of bamboo to uncover 5 highly practical, profoundly real-life lessons hidden right there in its biology.
Lesson 1. The Invisible Foundation. Okay, let's dive straight into this one because it's wild. When a bamboo seed is planted, it spends up to 5 entire years growing an extensive, incredibly complex root system deep underground. For 5 whole years, you won't see a single shoot break the surface. Literally nothing. But then, once that invisible structure is fully built, in just 6 weeks, it can shoot up an astonishing 90 feet into the forest canopy. 90 feet!
And you know, this brings us to a huge realization for all of us. Invisible work is not wasted work. Think about your own life for a second. Sometimes you might feel like you're putting in endless, exhausting effort with absolutely zero visible results to show for it. It's frustrating. But just like the bamboo, while your eventual breakthrough might look completely sudden to the outside world, that massive leap is only biologically possible because you spent years building an unshakable foundation in the dark.
Moving right along to Lesson 2, Bending Through Storms. Imagine a massive, violent storm ripping through the forest. Now, unlike a rigid oak tree that might violently splinter and crash in high winds, bamboo does something completely different to survive. It doesn't resist the wind at all. Instead, it yields. It bows almost completely flat to the muddy ground. And the absolute second the wind passes, it effortlessly snaps right back up, totally unharmed. The takeaway here is beautifully simple, but honestly, deeply profound for our everyday lives. Survival is not about being unbreakable. It's not about being some unfeeling, immovable stone wall. True survival is about your ability to return to your center. When the massive storms of life hit you, and they will, you don't always have to fight the wind. You just have to be willing to yield, to bend, knowing you have the core resilience to bounce back to exactly who you are.
Next up, Lesson 3. Gentle yet unbreakable.
What is just physically mind-blowing about this material is the extreme contrast. Depending on exactly how it's treated, the exact same bamboo stem can be processed and spun into incredibly soft, breathable, silk-like fabric. Yet that very same plant can be carved and hardened into a weapon or a structural tool with an edge that is literally sharper than steel.
So what does that actually tell us? Well, it tells us that gentleness and strength are not opposites. We so often feel pressure to be just one thing, right? Like either you're tough and walled off or you're soft and vulnerable. But bamboo proves that you have the capacity to be immensely compassionate and soft while still maintaining boundaries that are absolutely sharp and rock hard.
All right, Lesson 4. The Power of Regeneration.
The biological efficiency of this plant is just absolute next level. When a bamboo stalk is completely cut down, harvested right at the base, the farmer doesn't need to put a single new seed into the ground. Because of that massive underground network we talked about earlier, the stalk simply regenerates. It grows right back from the exact same root system. I find this takeaway incredibly encouraging. Basically, what doesn't kill your roots makes you harvestable again and again. You are absolutely going to face massive setbacks in your life. You might feel entirely cut down to the ground, forced to start from scratch. But remember your roots. The deep values, the hard-earned knowledge, the resilience you've cultivated over the years, those are still perfectly intact underground, completely ready to fuel your next fresh start.
And finally, Lesson 5. Rising Through Emptiness.
If you were to slice a stalk right in half, you'd see it's completely hollow inside. Now, human instinct might tell us a solid block of oak has to be stronger than a hollow blade of grass. But that hollow center? It's actually its greatest physical advantage. It makes the plant impossibly light and flexible, allowing it to grow so much higher into the sunlight than solid wood ever could.
The lesson here is brilliant. Emptiness is absolutely not weakness. In our daily lives, we constantly fill ourselves up. We cling so tightly to old grudges, outdated beliefs, heavy physical clutter, and massive, inflexible egos. But bamboo reminds us that the less unnecessary weight you carry, the less dense you are, the higher and faster you are ultimately able to grow. Which leaves us with one final, really crucial question to ponder today.
What do you need to hollow out or let go of in your own life to reach your highest canopy? I really hope these 5 beautiful lessons from a simple grass have sparked some real reflection and inspiration for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.